Hey, truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. I want to take a moment to share with you the organic side of Gematria, the natural relationships that are commonly found in our own names in regards to our family, our friends, our loved one, our spouses, our most important relationships. I've talked about this in the past, but it's been more than a year, so I want to share with you again and expand on what I've presented in the past. So I'm going to talk about myself, my mother, my father, my sister, and my hope is that you take this knowledge and apply it to yourself and your family and your relationships, and you make the same type of discoveries, which will probably boggle your mind, but also make you further appreciate this world we live in and the magical qualities to these numbers that are around us. So we're going to begin with the question, what's the coldest day ever recorded? The coldest day ever recorded was July 21st, 1983. The record cold temperature was negative 89 Celsius. The record temperature, still the record. Here we are in 2017. This happens to be the same date I was born. I was born July 21st, 1983. I want to show you why this is so interesting. My full name is Zachary K. Hubbard, which in full reduction sums to 89. And back when I started this study, I only knew about two Gematria methods, and they were these two. This is what I taught for over 2 years, these two Gematria methods. And what's very interesting is my father's full name is Timothy Stephen Hubbard, which also sums to 89. And my father, he has no interest in Gematria. He certainly didn't code out my name or his name. What's funny is both of us, neither of us, have a bloodline to the name Hubbard. My dad doesn't know who his father is. His mother was in a marriage for a short term with a man named Hubbard. During that time, he took on that last name. So that's the same reason I have the last name, because it's his last name. But really, we have no bloodline to that name. But anyhow, my father's name, the same as my name. My mother's birthday is September 8th, which in most parts of the world is written 8/9, a lot like 89, right? So on July 21st, the date with the record coldest temperature of negative 89 degrees Celsius, I was born and given a name with 89 Gematria, matching my father's name. And I used to always ask my parents, why did you name me what you named me? Where does this name Zachary K. Hubbard come from? Nobody in the family is named Zachary. There's no one with a middle name Keith. And my parents, they always shrug and just say they like the way the name sounded. They like the way the name sounded. So, expanding on this, here's some other really interesting things. My father's birthday is April 18th. He was born in 1952. So we'll just go to 1980. Or excuse me, my father was not born in 52. My father was born in 53. My mother was born in 52. My father turned 30 April 18th, 1983, which was exactly 94 days before my birthday. 94 days before my birthday, right? And my mother's birthday is September 8th. She was 30 when I was born. She turned 31 49 days after I was born. My dad's birthday, 94 days before my birthday. My mother's 49 days after. If you count that full span of days, it's 144 days. 144, which is the 12th Fibonacci number. The Fibonacci sequence. Let me just see if I can pull it up here for you real quick. Fibonacci sequence. We should be able to get this. The 11th Fibonacci number is 89. Let me see. There's got to be a full list of them here. I just want you to see it. The Fibonacci sequence goes 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, 55, 89, 144. You see? I'm born on this date with the negative 89 degree temperature, given this 89 name, having this amazing synchronicity with my parents who happened to be born 144 days apart. 144 is the 12th Fibonacci number. The square root of 144 is 12. Remember, 144 has a lot to do with time. 1,440 minutes in a day. The square root of 144 is 12. 12 months, 12 hours in the morning and the evening, 12 numbered spots of the hands of a clock. So just real quick from, my father's birthday to my mother's birthday, if you count the full span of days, again, 100, whoops, I typed in the wrong date. He's born April 18th, not April 21st. From his birthday to her birthday, 144-day span, and my day of birth coming neatly in between. So, are you following so far? They say the Fibonacci numbers are the numbers of God, and all of us are God's creation. And it seems that what we find out by doing this research is there's something powerful going on here in the numbers, in our relationships, again, in relation to our family, our friends, our loved ones, our spouses. So, of course, there's even more. My sister's birthday, if you can visualize this, my sister's birthday is December 7th, right? December 7th. We have the same mother, we have different fathers. My birthday is July 21st. You see this? Reflections of each other. I'm a Cancer, and she is a Sagittarius. Sagittarius, right? From my sister's birthday, December 7th, her birthday before I was born would have been 1982, to my birthday, if you count the full span of days, is 227 days. 227, a number that has a lot to do with pi and cycles and circles. 227 is the 49th prime number. 227 is the 49th prime number. 49. The date I was born, July 21st, 1983, that's a date with a life lesson number of 49. 7 plus 21 is 28, plus you reduce the year, 1 plus 9 plus 8 plus 3 is 21, 21 plus 28 is 49. 49. My whole life, everyone's called me Zach Hubbard for the most part. Zach Hubbard, 49, 94, born 94 days after my father, 49 days before my mother. Again, corresponding with my own birth numerology, and then also even having this relationship with my sister's birthday. The number 49, for my whole life, well, since the time I can remember, 49 has been one of my favorite numbers. I had two favorite numbers growing up. They were 49 and 37. And the reason I liked 49 so much is because my dad is a big sports fan and he loves the San Francisco 49ers. I was born in Portland, Oregon. Portland doesn't have a football team. We're between the Seahawks and San Francisco 49ers. My dad grew up a 49er fan because he was a fan. Most young boys want to be like their dad. So, I like the 49ers. And for some reason, I just really like that number, 49. In school, I noticed how 4 and 9 kind of look like each other. You learn the multiple ways to write 4. Just something about that number. The other number that I really liked, and understand, I never knew Gematria. It was just, I had relationships with these numbers. I liked them. I wore them on my sports jerseys. I wore 49 and 37 a lot, and I never knew that Zachary in Gematria sums to 37, like Portland, where I was born. Notice Portland's also 100. I moved up to Seattle, and notice Seattle's also 82 like Zachary. It's just like, all of it just blows my mind. It's like, wow, it's like my life is being orchestrated by the numbers. A true story. I had the same car from the time I was 19 to 30, a Honda Civic. It started to give me all sorts of problems at 30, so I was like, okay, I just got to get a different car. What was weird is when I turned in my car on the odometer, it had 100 and some thousand miles and 82. It had, truth be told, it had 119,082 miles. And it just started giving me all these problems. I had to pile up all these bills and repairs. And I was like, wow, the car's just dying on me right here. So anyway, it closed with 82 miles. When I got the new vehicle in return, it had exactly 82 miles on it. And I picked it up in Seattle. You know, I was like, what in the world is going on? But anyway, to come back to this, I want you to see this real quick about Portland. Portland also has that Gematria of 100. Portland's in Oregon, the only state with 74 Gematria. Portland's in Oregon, the only state with 74 Gematria. If you write out 100, it sums to 74. Portland, the big city in Oregon. Something so weird. I've only bought one house in my life. I got the keys to the house. The deal closed. I got the keys to move in on a Friday the 13th. It took months to close. It closed on Friday the 13th, January 13th, 2012. And I didn't know Gematria when I got the house at the beginning of 2012. I didn't learn Gematria until the next year, 2013. But where I got my house is Bothell. And the weirdest thing about this house is exactly 74 feet long. 74 feet long, this house I moved into. In Bothell. Not far from Seattle, a suburb where I was living before. But anyway, to bring this back, we've learned about more Gematria ciphers now, right? So I just want to put these up here. My full name in reverse reduction, which is something I didn't know until the beginning of this year, sums to 100. 100. Just like Portland, where I was born, you know. Portland, 100. And I was talking about how 100 has this connection to 74. My whole life, I've had all these bizarre connections to 47 and 74. I was born in the 33rd state, Oregon, the only state with the Gematria of 74. In the U.S., where the birthday's 7/4. Let's not forget how special this number is. Holiday 74, Independence Day 74. You know, I was born in July, the 7th month, 7's the 4th prime. But anyway, to bring this back here, Portland, my place of birth, born July 21st, 1983. Think about the date 7/21. 21 is 3 times 7. Kind of like 37 for Portland for Zachary. If you multiply 7 times 7 times 7, you get 343. And it just weirds me out. I'm like, wow, my full name in reverse ordinal is 343. 7 to the 3rd power. You know, 721. Date 21 breaks into 777. 7 plus 7 plus 7. And again, none of this is intentionally by my parents. You know, they didn't choose to have me on July 21st. It's just the day I popped out. They don't even know exactly why they named me what I named me. It just makes me wonder. You know, it's been said, God is the master mathematician. God's got the whole world in his hands. Is God, you know, subconsciously steering people to, you know, come into relationships, to make life happen, to make procreation happen, to make it all according to a greater divine plan that we're all part of? When I look at these things, I just have to go, you know, something must be going on like this. I mean, how else could this possibly happen? If you broke down my dad's birth numerology and my own birth numerology, we have the same numbers. Birth numerology of 31, which breaks down to 4. Something that really blew my mind when I first began this Gematria research, what led to me discovering Gematria was I was dating a woman who I'm still dating. She's my girlfriend. We've been living together ever since. But she was really pressing me to read the Bible. She's Christian. She wanted me to read the Bible. She knew that I used to be a Christian. She was hoping I would become a Christian again. So she really wanted me to read the Bible. So I opened it up like right around the time I turned 30. And not thinking that Jesus started his ministry at 30. It's just the way it worked out. So I was reading the Bible. I read all of Genesis. I started to read more into the Old Testament. And then I just skipped ahead and I read Revelation. I wanted to read, you know, the beginning, good part of the beginning. And then I just wanted to read the end. And and just marinate on that for a while. And as I read Revelation, the numbers in the book were just really popping out at me, and I was just asking myself, why are these numbers used? What do these numbers mean? Why so much 7? Why so much 4? The numbers can't be arbitrary. And, I was reading Revelation, and if you know what revelation means, it means to have an awakening. Notice Revelation has this gematria of 49 and 149. 49 and 149. My YouTube channel, a lot of people give me flack because Zachary K. Hubbard equals 149, like Judas Iscariot. So all these people have made videos and said, look, Zachary K. Hubbard's Judas Iscariot. But, you could go to that same list that they're using, and you could look right down the list, and you could see that Christ reborn equals 149. And I'm not saying I'm Christ reborn, but, what do they say about when hell freezes over? Record coldest temperature? My mother's birthday is September 8th. Have I told you about the significance of September 8th yet? Let's ask this question. What day is the Virgin Mary's birthday? The Virgin Mary. What day? September 8th. Strange, that's my mother's birthday, 8-9. And part of the reason I think they chose that date is because religion equals 89. And as a young man, one of my goals became to help get rid of religion from this world, because I saw from a young age what an awful thing religion was. But real quick, I just want to come to the definition of revelation. Revelation definition. Look at what it says. A surprising and previously unknown fact, especially one that is made known in a dramatic way. Now look at my work and what I've done for the world. I brought new knowledge into the world for almost everyone. Something into the world that no one knew about besides Freemasons and Zionist Jews. The coding of the English language and how it's used ritualistically. And, I brought it in. Whoops, let's get rid of this. I brought this knowledge in a dramatic way. I've showed just how powerful it is. I've used drama to, make people more interested in the material. Not to be a drama queen, but just to make things interesting and engaging, exciting. Other definition of revelation, the divine or supernatural disclosure to humans of something relating to human existence or the world. Is that not exactly what I've done the whole time I've been here with this research? Brought something that's powerful knowledge that can improve our place in this world, our understanding of our own existence. I mean, this is a revelation. And what are the odds that the word revelation corresponds perfectly with my name and my date of birth? Revelation 49. Zach Hubbard 49. Life lesson number of 49. So for everyone who wants to say 149 means Judas Iscariot, it's just such a short-sighted thing. What Gematria is about is decoding and using intelligence to find real patterns that make logical sense, that have evidence besides just the numbers behind the name. Like what I'm showing. My father, my mother, and me, we all sync up through 89. They gave birth to me on the date with the record coldest temperature, negative 89 Celsius. You guys don't know me when I was a little child, but when I was a little child, I was raised Lutheran. I was a believer. I used to fold my hands every night and probably pray for a half hour straight before falling asleep about the same thing. And I wasn't selfish when I prayed. I always prayed for a better world for everyone. All the people suffering around me, everyone in the world suffering that I couldn't see. I grew up in a suffering environment. 2 working class slaves, always exhausted, always worn out, always at their bitter end, ready to take out all their exhaustion on whoever they could. I saw the world was a sick place from a young age. And, all I ever wanted to do was fix it for everyone else's well-being. And that's the same reason I've stayed so motivated to work so hard for truth and knowledge my whole life. I always wanted to do something for humanity. And I feel with this research, I'm doing that, and it's getting better each day. But here, I haven't finished yet this part about revelation. I actually started to cry when I was 30 and when I was reading the Bible, because for a second I felt guilty, or maybe I was wrong in my beliefs, and I'll just show you what I mean. Revelation 21:7, July 21st, my date of birth, written 21:7 in most parts of the world. Just show you this, what Revelation 21:7 says. You know, there's no verse that's this specific. Revelation 21:7, he that overcometh shall inherit all things, and I will be his God, and he shall be my son. True seeker, my word has always been perseverance. That's all my whole life's been. Persevere. You know, obstacle, detriment, all you can do is persevere. He that overcometh shall inherit all things. I know that that's true for anyone who can persevere. You know, when you overcome your obstacles, when you work hard, you know, each hurdle you overcome, you know, it makes life all the more worth it. And so many people who try to discredit me, who try to say I'm Judas Iscariot, they routinely say I'm an atheist, which pisses me off because I've never been an atheist. I've never even understood atheism. I don't understand how anyone could be an atheist. I can understand how people could think God is bad. Sometimes I even wonder. But I could never understand how anyone could think there's no God. I mean, you can't explain this world without God. Big Bang doesn't make any sense. Big Bang makes no sense at all. You look at this world, all the beauty. There's a lot of evil and darkness and ugly things too. But I mean, just look at how beautiful the natural world is. The environments. I live in the Pacific Northwest, one of the most beautiful places in the world. The mountains, the green, you know, just everything. There's so much beauty in this world. And it's so complicated. And there's so many intricate things. And there's so many amazing things. Like, just think about how amazing we are. All the functions are automatically going on in our body, you know, making this life possible, the way our bodies regenerate. It can't be explained without God. But what I've always said is religion's not necessary. And my holy book with my religion and what it says, it's, you know, all that stuff is just division. God, the Creator, made us. God doesn't write books. God gave us an internal regulating system. You know, we know right from wrong. We know good from evil. It does seem that God made us in a way almost like kind of a game too, giving us the option to participate in evil even though we know good. But anyway, God, you know, gave us all the abilities we have so that we can do right. And most people in this world do right. So, a point I'm trying to make here. There's something very natural and organic going on with these numbers. And based on all of the thousands of comments I've gotten from people that have shared with me their own numbers and their relationship to their girlfriend or their husband or their wife or their mother, their father, their brother, their sister, I know that these things are happening for way more people than just me. And it seems that somehow, some way, there's tracks in this world. And what I mean by that is, think about astrology. You know, astrology is well established. You can go out and get all these resources on astrology, and it'll tell you if you're born on this date and this year at this time, you're going to have all these qualities. And a lot of people who take the time to study go, wow, this is really exact. So that means, you know, if you just think about it, each day has attributes that come with it that will, you know, be with you for the rest of your life. And it seems that somehow these certain days, certain dates on the calendar have relationships with each other. And what I would imagine if, you know, 20 years from now, as I study this more and understand it greater, I'll probably make a discovery about the date my father's born and my mother's born and some greater relationship there in accordance with my own birthday. And the way it all syncs up. Because so many people have shared so many things with me, I've gotten to see all these overlaps between what different people report. And I'm like, what is going on? There's some greater relationship that's having impacts on all of our lives. So I don't know if I'm explaining that clearly enough, but I think if you take the time to decode, as I'm asking you to do, down below I'll link the Gematrinator so you can get the Gematria, the date calculator so you can check the relationships. I think as more people do this, you know, I think we're going to have a much greater revelation. The revelations have only just begun. Let's see, Truth Seeker. You know, I just always get comments like this, trolling comments like this right here, you know, all the time. Just since I woke up this morning, the same comment's been left 10 new times on 10 different videos, you know. By the way, Revelation 49, it's about the return of the Lord, Lord 49, you know. So again, I mean, for everyone who wants to say Judas Iscariot, what's the evidence really show? Does it show that I'm more like Judas Iscariot or Christ reborn? It's just so clear that all the people who are attacking me, it's clear that those people are filled up with the evil spirit, which most people are in this world. That's something I've been explaining to my mother since I was 18. The people of this world are taken by what Satan represents. Satan represents selfishness, greed. That's where the majority of people are. Satanic. They don't care about truth. They don't care about other people. They'll pretend like they do. But all they really care about is their own, you know, satisfaction and material well-being. I've never been that way. So everyone who wants to come and sell me out and lie about me and slander me, you know, you're wrong. I would wager that you could walk this whole earth and meet every single person on it, and you probably won't find anyone more Christian-like on the whole world than I am. Honestly. My whole life's been about service and helping people. I've lost a lot just to help other people. And here, I've been working for almost 4 years straight for free, putting out nothing but free knowledge with the hope that the world will appreciate it and we can overcome what's upon us. You know? And then people like this want to, or, you know, who I just showed, want to, Zachary K. Hubbard's Judas Iscariot, Skull and Bones. I mean, it's just, no. Nope, never even been to the East Coast. Never been anywhere near Connecticut. Never been to Yale. Oh, yeah. I was born at Good Sam Hospital as well. You know, the Good Samaritan. That's what it's named after. Good Sam equals 74. Just like Oregon, this magical number that showed up in my life. You know. Met my girlfriend on July 4th. Something interesting that I shared when I began this channel. I'll never forget the day. It was April 7th, 2014. April 7th, and two ladies that I had dated in the past, and, you know, it was a good time. I don't have any animosity against them. You know, we kind of broke it off on good terms. Both these women texted me on April 7th, 2014, after I hadn't talked to either of them in more than a year. And I thought, what in the world? Why are both of them texting me today? And it was after I'd been studying for Gematria a little more than 6 months. And I said, I wonder what their names equal in Gematria. Maddie. Her name is truly Madeline, but I always called her Maddie. It was always Maddie. I don't know if I ever called her Madeline to her face. Maddie, and this is the way she spelled it. Maddie equals 47. So Maddie just texted me out of nowhere on April 7th, 2014. And then that same day, Trish texted me. Same day, April 7th. The date that can be written 4/7 or 7/4. Every woman I have ever dated has a connection to this number. And my current girlfriend, who I've been with for years now, we met on July 4th. The first girl I ever had a crush on, even as a young child, was Christina. I got in big trouble for kissing Christina in first grade. Had to spend a long time in the corner at Catholic school. Gave Christina a little kiss on the playground. You know, Christina 47, just a reshuffling of the letters for Christian. And I went to Catholic school for kindergarten and first grade. I was never Catholic, but the Catholic school had all-day care before and after school. My parents were working slaves. They got free tuition to send me there. They just left me at that Catholic school all day, every day. I think I spent at least 12 hours there every single day. And one day was very memorable. The day that I had to spend hours in the corner because I kissed Christina, you know. When I first started this work, there was a woman named Rachel, too, who took a big liking to it, a big supporter. She was the first female supporter I had, Rachel. Rachel sent me the book about Gematria, the Jewish numbers and wisdom, which I would put in the background of my videos sometimes, kind of a way to show Rachel that I appreciated that book, and also to let people know that that's a good book to learn about Gematria, which is a Jewish practice. So many people have taken that video and showed the book in the background and zoomed in and said, see, Zach's a Jewish Zionist Mossad agent. Just because I have a book that exposes knowledge about Gematria and the importance of it to the Jewish faith. I mean, exactly what I talk about on my channel. For all of you who get taken by these liars and slanderers of me, you really have to improve your critical thinking, which starts with eating better and, using your mind to think instead of just believe and follow what people tell you. So I'll link all these posts down below. There's some other information here. But, destiny might be a real thing, and some of us truly might be more chosen than others. And way before I knew about Gematria, a lot of people told me that I was chosen, that I was special. Adults, when I was a child, thought I had the power to change this world. My 6th grade teacher was convinced. She used to cry tears of happiness because of the things I would write in papers. My 6th grade teacher, who was a big inspiration to me, she was convinced that one day I would be the president. She thought it was just impossible for me to not end up as the president. She thought I was going to save the whole world. Years later, when I was 22, I had a landlord in Seattle, and he told me that I was the rarest thing on earth, a young man with common sense and eyes to see. He said he didn't think a person like me existed in the whole world, So anyway, I had a lot of people over the years, way more than just those two, tell me to keep on doing what I'm doing, keep speaking truth, keep standing up for what's right, keep, challenging people to think. Things I've done my whole life. Spoken out about injustice my whole life. Really, I always say that my work goes back to when I was 18 and September 11th, but really it started way before that. I was always on the same path. September 11th just accelerated it. 911. Another thing that helped me find the numbers. Knowing that there must be something to numbers. Something greater that wasn't known then, but is now more understood as I teach this to you in 2017. Show you a couple more things about Christianity in 147 or 149. If you write out 47, it sums to 149. This number attracted to me. Again, Christians 47. Most Bibles are 66 books in length. 66 books. If you write out 66, it sums to 49 like Revelation. Also 149. And I should have mentioned that Zachary Hubbard, my full name, is also 66. Just like Zach Hubbard is 49. This name that my parents don't know why they gave me, but couldn't have been any more perfect in regards to my relationship to their birthdays. So you see, Truth Seeker, it's not that I'm Judas Iscariot, it's more that I was the revelation for the world. And honestly, probably commanded and sent by God. Not to say that I'm Jesus, but to say that that's what we all are. We're all constructs of God. We all have a purpose. Maybe not all of us find our purpose. And maybe you'll only find your purpose if you stay dedicated and true and resilient and persevere. Just like Revelation 21 says. So many people in this world quit. In the time I've been doing this, so many people have written to me that they can't do it anymore. It's too frustrating. They can't take all their family putting them down and their friends. And I get it. And it doesn't make you bad if you quit. Not everyone's cut out to walk the road, to achieve the mission. Just like my landlord told me. He said I was the rarest thing in the world. He said he didn't think a person like me even could possibly exist before he met me. 80-year-old man who became my best friend. For all you young people out there who are lonely because your peers make fun of you, find older people. Start hanging out at the library, bookstores. That's what I had to do as a young person. Seeking knowledge, seeking truth, trying to find like-minded people. I ended up surrounding myself with older people, and that definitely benefited me as well. So, I'll link all this information below. Please do this for yourself. Share what you discover in the comments. This information is more powerful than you know. Until next time, Truth Seeker. Actually, as I say that, I'll give you one more. I just thought about one more I hadn't shared with you. And I'm sure as soon as I upload the video, there's more I'll forget. If you write Zachary K. Hubbard in Francis Bacon Gematria, it's 227. Just like the 49th prime, you know, bringing us back to Revelation and Zach Hubbard and my birth numerology and the distance from my mother and father. Also, I got to admit, I liked this about my name. If you take into account the KV exception, Zachary K. Hubbard 77, and if you write out 77, it sums to 49. Remember, Washington, D.C. is on the 77th meridian, and Washington equals 49, 49 on the 77th meridian. 7 times 7 is 49. Yeah, Truth Seeker. My name, it really trips me out. But you might soon find the same thing about your own name. And just remember, there's no such thing as good and bad numbers. You know, that's what people try to do by trolling. They try to say, Zachary K. Hubbard has this bad number, Skull and Bones, Judas Iscariot. That's just a dishonest, deceptive, truly satanic argument. When you're doing wrong, you're serving Satan. All these Christians, so many Christians in this world are truly satanic. All they care about is that their religion's the greatest and F everybody else. I mean, there couldn't be anything more satanic or demonic. And that's where so many Christians are trapped at. But again, all these numbers, duality, there's a good side to them, there's a bad side to them. So if you find numbers that you associate with negativity, fear not. So many people will say, oh my God, Zach, my name sums to 44, and you call that the kill number. Realize, when I'm exposing things in these videos, I'm showing how negative people are using them. 44 has a nice side to it too. Spiritual's 44. Faith is 44. Karma's 44. Hope is 44. Every single number has a good and bad side. Every last one of them. So we'll wrap it up there, Truth Seeker. Until next time.